All right, guys, we are back with another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am your host, Brian Carter, and my co-host, Bass Geek. What's up, brother? Welcome back to the show. Another beautiful Wednesday night right here in Virginia. What's happening, man?
Oh yeah. Well, man, just banging out slanging, slanging out the banger videos myself. I feel that way. A heck of a fishing video that just dropped for you guys listening yesterday. Make sure you go check it out. We catch them on a lot of different baits. We talk about it. We talk about how the fish are set up. We show graphs, where they're at, what they're doing, and explain why they're there. So it's not just a cool video of me catching fish, because that doesn't exist. It's a cool video of me explaining why I'm catching fish.
That's awesome, man. All right, guys, like you said, head on over to the Bass Geek YouTube channel. Hit the button and hit the notification button as always, and leave a comment, because that helps it move up as well.
It does.
And we always talk about that here at Basscast Radio. If you go to the YouTube channel as well, hit the like button and make a comment, or either, I was listening to another podcast about people will listen to podcasts, but they won't comment on a podcast. And it's very, very, it ain't that often they put comment, but
yeah.
We appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate all the new listeners and all the feedback. Thank you, guys. Had some great shows the last couple of shows. And tonight's going to be no different. Tonight, guys, we got Marshall and Marty Robinson on with us tonight. Guys, Marshall, if you guys watching any Major League Fishing, Marshall was the ROY for the Tackle Warehouse Invitational for the 2023 season. So we thought we'd have him on, but we're not going to talk about the event. We're not really going to talk about we're going to talk maybe a little bit about the ROY. But the main thing is that we're going to dive into tonight, guys, is talking about the family life balance of having a father in the professional fishing league, which is going on right now, by the way. And, talk about that and the mechanics behind it. And because, guys, if you've been with Basscast Radio for quite a while, and Geek will tell you guys this, we've talked to so many different people who have like zero influence. I mean, like none. So tonight, we're going to take it to the other end of the spectrum. We're going to take it to someone who actually makes a living bass fishing 24/7, Mr. Marty Robinson. And then, his son as well, coming up through the ranks, and ROI for, a lot of great anglers out there that fish the Tackle Warehouse Invitational. I mean, what was it, like 150, 200 anglers or something fished that thing?
I think so. I don't remember the exact number, but
but there's a whole lot of anglers and a whole lot of rookies as well. So congratulations to him. But guys, it ain't been much happening right here at the basscast.com, and Basscast Radio, the website. Thank you. It has been blowing up.
Nice.
Guys, I'm going to send Keith Poche a Christmas card this year, because I tell you one thing, every time he does something, you guys just blow it up. I've been posting a lot more reels on our Facebook page, and, McMillan, I spelled his name. I diced that daggone thing. But I looked at it tonight, guys, and if you haven't seen it, the comments, holy cow. I want to say we're sitting at, where is that thing? Yeah, 784,000 views on that reel.
Wow.
I wish I could get paid for it. Wow. Thank you guys all, by the way, for checking out the website, Facebook, everything, all the social media. Really appreciate that. And like I said, as always, checking out Basscast Radio. So, guys, the Robinsons right here on Basscast Radio. All right, man, really appreciate you guys coming on. Geek, this is our first father-son episode the Basscast.com's ever done. So really appreciate you both coming on and talking with us tonight. Marshall, man, congratulations on the ROY.
Thanks, dude.
How do you feel, man?
It feels great. Kind of feels like I'm relieved, after all the pressure's taken off.
So in the Tackle Warehouse Invitational, a lot of stuff changed between last year and this year. What do you get from winning ROI?
I actually got a brand new 2023 Polaris Ranger.
Right. Any extra money to go with that?
It was the Ranger, and I got the trophy, but no extra money.
Hey, the trophy is probably more important than a Ranger.
I wanted that trophy bad. I ain't gonna lie.
That is awesome. So, guys, tonight we thought we'd bring them both on and we'd talk about bass fishing and the dynamics of family and growing up in a professional fishing family and being, life on the road. Marshall, your dad, like I said, fishing the what is it now called, Bass Pro Shop. The name will change next year.
Bass Pro Tour.
The Bass Pro Tour.
BPT.
As long as he keeps owning, well, as long as he keeps buying everything, you'll always stay that way.
There you go. Yes, sir.
There's one man that we all know just keeps writing checks.
Yeah.
I wish I had the checks. My God.
When you got a fat checkbook, I guess you can do that.
You got that right. Marshall, man, talk to us about growing up in a fishing family and taking notes and learning from the dynamics from Dad, man.
And it was great. I mean, it was everything I needed to become a pro one day. But I got to travel a lot of places, obviously, because he was fishing on tour, and we was going to his weigh-ins. But maybe after the tournament was over, we'd go out on the lake, and you learn a lot of stuff traveling from all the way to Florida to New York to out west. So it was real helpful for me and my future career.
Marty, what's it like having a son on tour with you and the whole traveling aspect?
Man, it's aggravating as crap.
At least he's honest.
I mean, you can't do tackle. Nah, I'm just kidding.
They don't listen. Trust me, I know.
You have to wind up, pull your belt off 2 or 3 times a day.
You got to tell them, no, we're fishing over here, and they want to throw over there, and in a tree. Next thing you know.
Yeah. No, it was a fun times you'll never forget. When the tournaments that they got to go to, and some of them, at good places, some of them at not so good places. But
right.
I would always try to, like you said, get them out on the water after the event was over, and show them just a new body of water, maybe some, a new pattern or new technique they had never seen, just to try to keep them, make them versatile in their fishing, and just let them experience some of the country that I was experiencing, that other people chance. And we've always heard that, in high school fishing, and no matter what it is, whether it's football, baseball, or something, and you hear, if you're a professional or do a sport at the professional level, you always hear, well, he's, them kids are just that good. His dad's professional, man. I mean, they're supposed to be that good. I'm on sympathize with them. My kids did have a little advantage over them, just like, I'm sure Peyton and Eli had a little advantage over just the average high school quarterback.
Yeah.
It wasn't their fault, but there was a lot of kids out there where their dads was a professional that didn't make it. So it wouldn't. If your dad's professional, you're definitely going to be a professional yourself. I mean, that's not the case. You still, that kid or those kids still had to have that drive and the passion for whatever their dad did or whatever sport they wanted to be. Or compete at the top level. And but I think that helped them out a lot, just like I'm sure, Peyton and Eli growing up, watching their dad Archie play football, learning a lot of stuff. Other kids didn't have the time to do it. So,
Marshall, what made you want to follow in Pop's footsteps, man?
I think the number one thing was just how fun, I just like catching fish. And I like the competitive aspect too. So when you mix them together, it sounds like the perfect thing to do.
Now, did you come up to like Dad was talking, the high school ranks as well? Did you have a high school team?
Yeah, I fished at our local high school, Burns High School. From the time I think from 6th grade all the way up till I graduated. And it was all local lakes, but it was fun and it helped a lot to fish these lakes around here. And because you have, we'd probably practice 2 or 3 days, and then tournament would be either a 1 day or a 2 day event. So you spend in 4 or 5 days on the water. So you still learning stuff.
What's some of the valuable lessons, man, that you learned while you were out on tour?
I've told a lot of people
Dad?
probably, yeah. Probably one of the best things I learned was just to keep cool, because he's got a good attitude, and he don't get spun out when something bad goes wrong. So really just to keep my head in the game no matter what, and maybe if you had a bad day, rebound with a good day too, or if you lost a big fish, just keep going and don't let it bother you.
That's very true about Marty, man. Dad, you're like one of the, you never hear a lot out of him. It's it's not always in the news like some of the anglers are. What helps keep you grounded, Marty?
Man, really, I keep it hid well, man. I'm really one of the tough neck tour, but I don't,
Well, I mean, they call you Marty the Party. I mean,
Yeah.
we got it.
I think I got that name from, man. Come on, good. Actually, everybody asked me, man, where'd you get the name Marty the Party? You ain't that wild. And I was like, well, no, yeah, I might have been a little wild in my high school days, but yeah, I'm not that wild. I think I got that name from actually the first classic I made. I told my wife I'd dance on stage, and she kind of held me to
Oh my goodness.
name to right. But yeah, I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty laid back. Just try to enjoy life, make the best out of it. I hate to see people wear a frown. I don't know what they living for when they're out there just mad, ill all the time, and in a bad mood. I mean, I don't understand what they get out of life. To me, you gotta make it the best you can, and just try to look at everything in a positive way.
Marshall, man, can you share some of your, the feedback that you got from your dad as you were learning skills, learning tips, and some of that patience he says he had?
Yeah, for one, he definitely taught me all that I need to know about fishing. Taught me his style, and I learned pretty much everything I know from him up until the time I got to go by myself. And then also fishing with him at a high school level, I got a lot of lessons taught there, just from, like, if I was doing something wrong, he'd be sure to get on me about it, and there was some times when I'm sure I got on his nerves or aggravated him with what I was doing. But he stayed on me, and I think that made me a better fisherman.
So did you find really quickly where he hid the good stuff, so when he come back and you didn't get to go with him, you had it in the boat, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, if he had anything good, I was getting it.
There you go.
That's for sure. I mean, between him and younger brother, I mean, half my baits on the wall get gone that I'm looking for, and especially back years in the older days when they was high school fishing a lot, I'd get to a tournament and go to looking for some baits I needed at that tournament. I'd be like, man, I put those baits in here. Where are they at? So anytime there was anything in my boat that they needed, they helped themselves. And
Marshall.
So once they got up to 13, you had to call up the sponsors and be like, hey, can I get a little larger allowance here? I'm wearing them out on these.
Yeah.
Exactly. When I made my P-line order, I had to order a lot of line. Marshall, not as much, but my youngest one, I think he changes line like he changes. Man, he changes. I think he changes respools everything every day. And and back to that patience deal. I admit I didn't have to have a lot of patience with Marshall. He's pretty laid back, easy going. But that dang young one of mine, Marshall's 19 and Mitchell's 17. Mitchell's my youngest boy, and he was a ball of fire when he was young. I didn't ever know if he would have the patience for bass fishing, but he just actually this past week he won the high school national championship. So
That's
Nice.
awesome.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was getting ready to say there's always one fireball in the
Yeah.
bunch. It's just how it works.
there he is for sure. But
Wait, I guess he takes after Mama, right?
yeah, that's
All
right.
right, there we go.
But he's also come a long way in fishing, and to be honest with you, he got a lot of talent. I look for him to do well when he starts on tour, hopefully next year. So
Is he going to be fishing the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals as well?
no, you have to qualify for
That's
them.
right, you do.
Yeah.
Or either have a lot of money. We haven't decided on that one yet. We'll keep that one under wraps.
Yeah. He will start fishing some Toyotas next
Cool.
year
There you go.
and try to qualify for the Tackle Warehouse. So
Yeah, we'll discuss the qualification thing a little bit later in a different episode, but that's something we've looked pretty heavily into with the Major League Fishing people, and it's like, yeah, how they got there, we really still don't know.
do what?
How some of those anglers got there, we still really don't know.
In the Tackle Warehouse?
Yeah, because there's there's 2 or 3 of them that never fished, that really hasn't done anything. They got an invite.
Yeah, they obviously a lot of guys when they done away with the championship tournament, some of the original FOW guys
Right.
left and went and fished the opens. Which I think you can get in the opens. I mean, I think you just got to sign up for them.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but so the Tackle Warehouse tour, they replaced those guys by working through the standings on the Toyotas. Usually they normally take 10, but they wind up taking more guys this year to fill the field. But yeah, he'll still have to qualify through the Toyotas now. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
look for him to do good. So hopefully he can, you never always say you never know how a kid's going to handle the road, how he's going to do on the road. He does great around the house. Actually does fantastic in high school fishing, but I never let that, make my judgment of how they're going to be on the road. There's a lot that goes on the road. You're fishing new bodies.
Yeah.
Got to be able to break them down quick. So,
And that's a big difference. We were speaking to a guy,
Oh yeah.
Who fishes locally, and a couple of episodes ago, and he was even talking about the difference between, fishing those tournaments on your 1, 2, 3 local bodies of water, and how it's really different to travel and fish. And he was just talking about the different skill sets that it really requires.
oh yeah, yeah. Obviously back when I fished at home, fished locally, pretty much statewide, fish BFLs and stuff, you had a lot of knowledge on those lakes. So a lot of times you would, you show up, if it was that time of year, you knew what to do. You knew what you was going to focus on. You could eliminate half or 3/4 of the lake.
Oh yeah.
And just break it down a lot faster and a lot easier. And, but then when I started traveling, you show up with pretty much nothing and start from scratch. So it makes it, a little tougher, a little more involved, I guess. Just a lot more goes into it. But people handle it well. Some others don't. You
That's
never can tell till they get out there.
I was talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about that, and like you just said, once you get the skills down that you are needed to bass fish, and the know-how and the knowledge, the other 80% is all upstairs. It's all mental. It's all in your head. I mean, it's all, you can have a bad day and not be able to recover from it, and lose a few big fish, and the whole tournament's gone.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the good thing about my boys, I tell everybody, they actually came up. I think what was a great time to come up in bass fishing. They came up right before forward facing came out. So
Yes.
they learned the old way of fishing. And then when forward facing come out, they was the first young anglers learning it. So they also learned that side of it really well, and are probably better than me at that side of the game. And
Probably.
so they all the stuff, all the
After,
stuff I taught them, about finding fish the old way. I mean, they taught me just as much, if not more, finding fish the new way. So,
Yeah,
well,
Marshall, go ahead.
that forward facing sonar, I love mine. I'm a computer geek, as y'all know, and you still got to find them to find them. You got to find them to see them. That's what I tell everybody all the time.
yeah.
that's right. That's right. And but I think that was their best asset. They know both sides of the game. And I see some groups that are a little, obviously the older generation a little stronger at the old way, and then you got the new generation that's better at forward facing. And it all depends a lot of times on what lake or what body of water you're fishing as to what group does the best.
We're gonna need chiropractors for these young kids.
Yeah.
Listen.
And neck's gonna hurt, man.
I come from Northeast Tennessee, up on South Holston and Cherokee. So during the wintertime, I'm like this. I've been like this for years already.
Yeah.
I've already got neck problems from the Mickey rigging all the time. Back with 2D.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen a company came out with, I want to say it was last year. It was a mount for your electronics, but you could actually pick it up to like 4 feet.
But who is that? Like DB or something like that?
Yeah, and you can actually just look over at your electronics. You didn't have to look down anymore. I mean, you just look right over at them.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
If I just starting out fishing, fishing BFLs or something, I don't think I get one of them. Your guy in the back could see your graph too good.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
He'd be catching fish.
He'd be casting over your shoulder.
Yeah, you got a high graph.
Oh my goodness.
That's all right. Listen, that's we was talking about you being called Marty the Party. I think that's kind of the opposite. Kind of nickname, right? It'd be like people calling me Slim because I don't have to worry about blocking my graph. They ain't seeing through my big rear
end. Marshall, man, your dad was talking about breaking down water and traveling and getting used to new lakes and new bodies of water. I think I guess you say that father-son working together has helped you get a better view of lakes, waters, and there's with you being younger, we all know the YouTube version. Everybody goes to YouTube these days. Everybody goes to Google Maps. We all have a lot more things now than we used to have. Besides just going out to your boat and checking out your map on your boat, you can sit at home and do it on your phone.
Yeah.
How does that help you, man?
Yeah, and I put some of the new stuff to my advantage, like YouTube and stuff like that. I usually for one, I'll go on there and I'll watch the past tournaments on that place.
Right.
And after I watch all those, I'll kind of have an idea of what it's going to be like, and then I'll also go and read all the articles I can find on those tournaments, and then I'll scroll through the top 10 baits on all of them, and just to get a good feeling of what it's going to fish like, and how big the weights are going to be. And then for probably another thing, I'm a guy that likes to fish fast, I guess you could say. Okay. And I think when you break it down a new body of water, it's always good to cover a lot of water. Mm-hmm. And I like throwing moving baits too. So, something I can wind and just go until I hit an area that has that I realize has a good amount of fish in it. Then I can slow down and kind of break that area down.
Pretty awesome. The event, like you said, the ROY itself, man. What were some of the tactics that helped you throughout the season that you guys, maybe worked together, or that, you took on yourself that helped you win the actual award?
Well, we traveled together, and, each tournament we stayed together. And after each day on the water, we'd always talk about what we thought was going on and how we were catching them. We never shared spots, really, but it was more like getting each other clued in on anything they were missing out And I think that helped. And then also, we have kind of two, I'd say, different fishing styles. So I like to move fast and throw something I can wind. And he likes doing that too, but he also likes pulling out like a jig or something like that, slowing down. And which I hate. I hate a jig.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it was
man. Ooh,
it
gosh,
was
hate a
fun.
jig. Marty, come on
Yeah.
now.
Oh, I can't stand the jig, man.
Right, man. I'm telling you. Right.
I
Anybody
can't say nothing. You won't see me if yeah, I always joke with people, and I'm like, if I'm fun fishing and I've got to pull out a Carolina rig, I'm going. It's beer and wings for me. I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yep.
I just feel like nowadays, with everybody on the water, those fish, when they see that big jig coming by, I just think they hesitate to bite it. And then you pick up something stupid like a drop shot, and then they'll bite it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And see, that's how we think different. See, I'm still dragging my old jig, hoping that old big one to get it.
He's
Hey.
got too much past
They
history.
still get it now. They still get it.
Oh yeah, they'll get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I still catch them on it about twice a year. So yeah, they still.
Well, let me reverse the question then for you, Marty. I mean, with you guys fishing together and all that good stuff, with two different fishing patterns, has it helped? I mean, has he helped you? I mean, give you a different view or a different look.
Oh yeah, definitely. He has definitely helped me. I mean, he's had a great year. He's caught them all year, and I've had a decent year, a good year on the BPT, but I had a terrible year on Tackle Warehouse. And what I tell a lot of people, I did enjoy fishing over there. It was a little more relaxing. I didn't have there's no championship to qualify for, and I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to worry any about points. So I got to, you can take more gambles. You can take a lot more risk, and I got to play around with that old goofy forward facing a lot more over there. But doing that over there, the competition is so good, so strong over there. I mean, if you play around, if you're not doing everything you can do, I mean, those guys over there can catch them as good as any group I know of. I mean, and it showed. I didn't have a very good season over there, but I fished as hard as I could. I may have fished just a little different than what I do to BPT, but I tried to catch them as good as I could, and I didn't finish nowhere near where he finished in the points, and so he had a really good year, and it was real strong competition. So I'm looking forward to see how he does on the BPT. I think he'll do. I think he'll do real well. I know the rookies that came in this year are doing really well, so that shows you that the competition that they're used to. You got pretty much most of the guys that came in this season on the BPT from the Tackle Warehouse last year are top 50 in points.
Nice.
So it's some real good. If you finish in top 10 over there, you really had a great year and you really accomplished something. So
that's a good question. I don't know how many of those guys. I haven't gone back and looked at it, but we're really starting to. A lot of the leagues now are starting to create those youth feeder programs like we see, with the ball and stick sports, So, I mean, how much of an advantage do you think that's really given guys like Marshall, coming up through the ranks now? Compared to what me and you've done,
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously when I was trying to come up, trying to learn stuff, you pretty much you could read magazines, or you could watch videos.
That was it.
But I mean, you had to go to what, Blockbuster or somewhere like that, try to find a fishing video that look like an idiot or something.
I was watching Bassmaster, Bill Dance, Roland Martin, Jimmy Hughes.
It was a Saturday morning when all that
and hoping that twister, was actually working when I bought it.
That's me. I had to buy a lot of stuff, and try a lot of crap that probably was just a bunch of crap that everybody. And figure out that it didn't work. I done a lot of experimenting and take for instance, I grew up on blueback lakes. Well, I had to buy a bunch of those deep diving crankbaits to realize those ain't gonna play on blueback herring lakes. And I didn't have somebody telling me, look, it's deep cranking ain't the deal here. Tennessee River's got current. The fish get deep. It's got the fish set up on those deep places. They set up on bottom. These blueback lakes, the fish never look down. They feed up. But me learning those lessons the hard way, it made them stick in my head a little better.
Yeah. I call it beating water. I used to read Bassmaster magazine, go buy them lures and just go out there and beat the water with them until I figured it out.
That's right. Yeah. But I was dead set and adamant when I was young, trying to learn to fish every technique there was. I wanted to catch them every day. And, that's hard to do on some lakes, on certain lakes. It's hard to fish one lake and be able to catch them every way you see on television. And, but I had to learn that, but I did teach myself to be more of a versatile fisherman. I wanted to catch them. I didn't want there to be a technique out there or a way to catch them that I said, man, I ain't no good at that. I ain't doing that. And it helped me. I mean, it hurt me some too. I mean, you never know really what's best. Like Denny Brower was a phenomenal fisherman. He's one of the all-time greatest, one of my favorite. Still texting.
I love Denny. Yeah.
And Denny, made a great living pretty much being a shallow water jig fisherman.
Yeah.
And there was two ways to do it. You could be great at one or two techniques, or you could be versatile and be able to catch them all ways. And both of them, you can make both of them work if you was good at it. But to me, I thought to keep my interest and never get burnt out, I wanted every technique.
That's awesome.
I think that's why I'm such a horrible tournament angler. It's because when I go out, like if you watch my videos, there's 200 rods on the deck of my boat constant. Because I'm always like, well, okay, I can catch them like this. I wonder if I can catch them on this thing over here. Hey, I just bought these. Let me try it like this. And, that is the worst for a tournament angler. You cannot be that way. Let me ask you guys this. So I want you both to answer about each other. What would you say is Marshall's weakest technique? And Marshall, what would you say is Marty's weakest technique?
I know what he's going to say, and I know what I'm going to say.
That's a great question, Deke.
You go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
All right. His hands down, ain't even a question. Forward facing is his weakness.
So like suspended or brush pile, what is it? Just using it in general.
Like if we go out there and it's and the fish are feeding on bait, say it's cold, they ain't really a good shallow bite, and you just going live scoping. He's the type that'll scan over there and see some, be like, man, they're over there. And he'll throw his bait in that direction. He ain't necessarily watching it going down to that fish. And But I'd say forward. He don't really have a bunch of weaknesses when it comes to just fishing, but forward facing. Yeah, forward facing is his weakness. And I know what he's about to say about me too.
Nah, you probably don't.
Uh-oh.
You probably thinking I'm gonna say dragging the jig or something like that.
I'm thinking of one bait right now that I always tell you I hate. I figured you'd say that.
Well, you probably talking about throwing a big worm in the summertime.
Yeah. I like a big worm.
Hey, can y'all tell him how many big fish you've caught on a big worm?
Like an old monster?
Yeah, I love an old monster. I've got a lot, especially out of the brush piles and lay downs.
Yes, sir. He hates throwing an old monster, which it may be a thing of the past almost now. But
I tell you what, if they on the ledges on Tennessee, a Texas rig just dragged, or on if they're in a brush pile, just working that thing across them limbs, and you just feel like a boom, and you're just like, God, I don't know if there's much better in the world.
Yeah, and most time it's a big one too. So.
If they eating that most of the time,
yeah, that's probably his weakness. Throwing a big worm in a brush pile or offshore or something like that.
Yeah.
Marshall, this question's for you, man. What was it? I know growing up being, hanging out with Pops, being with him on tour, but this is your first year of actually being on tour. I mean, this is when you actually had to, think about the event, think about the game. Like you guys said, you kind of, hooked up with each other, traded secrets and stuff like that. But how was it just for you being a rookie on tour and actually having to go fish?
Man, I really enjoyed it. It was probably the funnest year of my life as far as fishing goes, just because we got to travel and we got to travel to the same lakes and like I said, we would be able to discuss it and anything cool that happened too. Like if I really figured something out and I'd figured something, figured something out, they were biting and or had like a cool fishing story to tell, I could come in and we'd talk about it and have a good time. But that and also just breaking down new bodies of water was real fun for me because it was a challenge. And I was up for the challenge, to figure out how to catch those fish from down to Florida all the way out west, up north. So.
What was your biggest takeaway from this year, man?
My biggest takeaway, I think, would be probably what I said earlier. It'd be to stay in it because I think out of the 6 events this year, I had 4 tournaments where after day 1, I was like from 80th to 120th place. And
Wow.
almost every single time I would have a really good, like a real big bag on day 2, and I'd rally all the way back. And a couple of those tournaments, Potomac River, for example, I went from 111th all the way to 28th with the biggest bag of the day on day 2, and a similar thing at Okeechobee.
Right. We always talk about legacy. Like I said, your dad's a professional angler. How do you see your legacy, man?
Man, I feel like I kind of want to encourage people my age because I got a lot of buddies who want to be professional fishermen and want to travel and stuff. But I just want to kind of be the one that goes out there and shows them that they can do it. If they really go out there and if they love fishing like I do and they put their mind to it, man, you can get it done. It don't matter how young you are because all it just comes down to catching bass.
It's a little bit more than that, though. I mean, it's at the end of the day, you really got to think about the dedication.
Dedication is a big key
and
to it.
A commitment.
That comes back to the love.
Yeah, and a commitment because I mean, it is time away from family, girlfriends, friends, the parties that everybody else went to, the proms everybody else went to. There's a lot of things that you miss out on for this ultimate goal.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I coming out of high school, I didn't go to college, so I kind of opted out of all that. And I mean, I don't really see myself as a big party guy, but I definitely put everything in my life, no matter what it was, to the side just so I could pursue, what I wanted to.
There's ever since I started the basscast.com, God, 14 years ago now, there's a sign that sits beside me at work, and it's commitment. You'll decide your future only by determining your level of commitment. Only you will determine how hard you will work, how many hours you'll spend on the road, the opportunities you miss to gain your commitment. At the end of the day, what's your ultimate goal with this whole thing, man?
Man, my ultimate goal is really just to do what I wanted to as a kid. And I mean, it's the biggest goal out there, but I just want to be, I want to be the best fisherman in the world. If it means, one day trying to track down, your wheelers and your KVDs, then that's what it'll take. But I've always told everybody I want to be the best fisherman in the world. So
you're on the way, brother. Congratulations again for the ROY. Marty, man, appreciate you coming on and talking with us.
Yes, sir.
Great. Go ahead.
I want to be the second best, so there you go.
There you go. There you go.
It's great to have both of you guys on. Really, really was. We really appreciate you taking a little bit of time out tonight out of, because I know you're fishing an event. So
yep.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
and catch them. I'm in the Red Crest cut now, but I'm probably need a top 40 or 50 to stay in there. So I got my work cut out for me tomorrow, but we're gonna give it all we got.
He needs one of them rally days.
Yeah, go get them, brother.
I
Thank you, man.
hope I'm not in 99-degree heat riding around in a boat with you next year. Okay.
Okay, go when it's a little cooler.
That was my first tan of the year in when was that? March? I ain't lying,
Yeah.
man. It's like
It was hot.
it was hot.
Yeah.
That was it was hot that day. But it was fun though. So really appreciate you taking us out on the water and showing some electronics and some good old stuff. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Enjoyed it.
All right, everybody. We'll be right back. All right, everyone, man. We really appreciate Marshall and Marty Robinson for coming on and talking with us tonight. Pretty dang cool. Just a great conversation. I mean, the last couple of podcasts have just been a really, really good conversation.
Yeah.
On top of, Marshall, we'll be fishing the Bass Pro Tour next year with Pops. So, I mean, it's going to be a big change, going to the periods and catch and release and all the other good stuff that comes with it. But, I mean, dude's got a lot under his belt already. And taking home the ROY, I mean, holy cow. I mean, that's like priceless.
Pretty cool.
Freaking priceless. You'll never be able to take that away from you, him, whatever. I mean, it's like the guys talk about winning Angler of the Year in the Bassmaster Elite Series. I mean, that's a lot of guys, that's what haunts them the most. I mean, is winning that Angler of the Year. So congratulations to him. Guys, hopefully you guys are watching the Bass Pro Tour going on this week. As you guys all know, this is Kevin Van Dam's last event.
Wow.
Ever.
So
maybe
crazy.
We're not sure. Could be up in the air. You never know. It could take a year off and the wife runs him out of the house. Like, why are you here? I'm tired of seeing you. We've heard a lot of, I don't want to, we're wrapping this bad boy up, but, a lot of people have brought in speculation. I mean, I know he does have a partial ownership, I think, in the Bass Pro Tour. I know Iconelli had a little bit. I don't know what all the details are.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We wonder if he's going to do what a lot of NFL pros do. Well, some Major League Baseball players do as well, go back to where you came from 1 year and then say bye-bye. It's a lot of speculation out there, what's going on. And, I know Bass would welcome him with open arms. He probably wouldn't even have to qualify for nothing. I mean, roll out the red carpet for him. But I mean, that's a great conversation later down the road. And maybe we can have him on and talk about it after the season wraps up and get him on the show, because we've never had KVD on the show. And let him rest for a little bit. But there's a lot of speculation about what his plans are after retirement, because, his sons didn't pick up bass fishing. I don't think, might go out dad, but none of them picked up the professional side of it.
Well, let me just say, if your KVD is your dad,
yeah,
do you want to live in that shadow?
And that's true, too.
I might join the walleye tournament.
Yeah, let's join the walleye series, yeah. Because you guys all know they're from up north anyway. So what, Michigan or something? Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, let's join the walleye series to make up our own trail.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's like Dale Jr. following in Dale's footsteps. I mean,
I mean, Junior did do decent, but other than that, he did nothing.
Exactly.
Zero.
Exactly.
So yeah. But like I said, appreciate him coming on. Hope you guys all have a great week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hitting the follow button as always, and the share button. Really, really appreciate that. If you're not following us on YouTube at Basscast Radio, please head on over now and hit the like and share button. Love to see that get to 500 before Christmas. Is it too much to ask for? Before Christmas. Let's see if we can get it before Christmas. But thank you guys for listening, and appreciate you guys. And we'll be back next week. So have a great week, everyone, and we'll be talking to you later.